Hey there, and welcome. Today, we are going to decode the secret language that materials are speaking all around us, all the time, whenever they're pushed, pulled, or twisted. We're talking about stress and strain. These are the two key ideas that decide how everything, from a massive bridge to a tiny paperclip, actually works. Okay, let's jump right in.
I mean, seriously, think about it for a second. It seems like such a simple question, right? But the answer unlocks pretty much the entire world of materials science. That little paperclip and that rubber band, they're telling us two totally different stories about what's happening inside them. And by the end of this, you're going to understand exactly what they're saying.
So, to understand these stories, we have to meet our two main characters, stress and strain. Now, they're always together, totally linked, but they are not the same thing at all. So let's break them down.
The easiest way to think about this is cause and effect. It's that simple. Stress is the cause. It's this internal force that a material feels. And strain? Strain is the effect. It's the physical change, the deformation that you can actually see and measure. One always leads to the other.
So imagine you're pulling on a rope. You're applying an outside force, right? Well, inside that rope, an internal force develops to fight back against your pull. That internal resistance spread out over the area of the rope, that's stress. It's literally the material saying, whoa, hold on, I'm trying to hold myself together here.
And as that rope feels all that stress, what does it do? It stretches. And strain is simply how we measure that stretch. It's just a ratio, the change in length divided by the original length. It tells us exactly how much the material changed shape compared to how it started.
All right, so we've got our cause, stress, and our effect, strain. Now let's go on a little adventure. Let's follow a material as we apply more and more and more stress. This entire journey, from the first little tug all the way to its final snap, can actually be drawn out on a map.
And this map, this graph, is one of the most powerful tools an engineer has. It's basically a material's entire resume, its personality profile, all in one picture. On the vertical axis, we plot the stress, and on the horizontal, we plot the strain. Let's see what this journey looks like.
So, right at the beginning, when we just start applying a little bit of stress, the material deforms a little. But here's the key. It's totally reversible. You let go of the force, and poof, it snaps right back to its original shape, just like a rubber band. This is called the elastic region. The atoms are stretching apart, but they haven't let go of each other yet.
Now this nice, predictable, springy behavior is governed by a simple rule called Hooke's law. All it says is that stress is directly proportional to strain. You double the stress, you get double the strain. It's a straight line on our graph. And the steepness or the slope of that line, that has a special name, Young's modulus. It's just a number that tells us how stiff a material is. A really steep slope means a very, very stiff material.
But what happens if we just keep pulling? Well, eventually we get to a really critical moment. We cross a line in the sand, a boundary, a point of no return.
And that boundary is the yield strength. The second you apply a stress bigger than this number, the material's internal structure starts to change for good. This, right here, is the paperclip moment. It's the reason why, when you bend it just a little too far, it stays bent. It has officially yielded.
So once we've passed the yield point, we're in what's called the plastic region. The material is now permanently changing shape. But check this out. This is so cool. For a lot of metals, as they deform, they actually get stronger. It's called strain hardening. The internal crystals get all tangled up, and that makes it even harder to pull them apart.
So we keep pulling, and the stress required keeps going up and up until it hits an absolute peak. This is its moment of glory. It's called the ultimate tensile strength, or UTS. This is the absolute maximum stress the material can possibly take before things are about to get ugly.
Yep. After hitting that peak, it's all downhill. A single weak spot in the material starts to get thinner and thinner, kind of like taffy. This is called necking, and all the force concentrates right on that one tiny spot until, snap, it fractures. The journey is over.
So, we've followed this whole dramatic journey. What can we actually learn from it? Well, just by looking at the shape of that curve, we can instantly understand what a material is all about. It's like reading its personality.
Exactly. Is it strong? Look for a high peak. Is it stiff? Look for a steep initial slope. Is it ductile, meaning can it bend a lot before breaking? Look for a long journey in that plastic region. Or does the curve just stop right after the elastic part? Well, that tells you the material is brittle. It doesn't bend, it just breaks.
And this table just lays it all out perfectly. Look at steel. High peak, long plastic region. It's the whole package, strong, stiff, and ductile. Then you have glass. Super steep slope, but it breaks almost right away. Stiff, but really brittle. And then there's rubber. Gentle slope, stretches forever. It's super flexible and ductile, but, not very strong. 3 different materials, 3 totally different personalities.
Okay, so far, everything has been about pulling or pushing. But what if the force isn't mechanical at all? What if it's just a change in temperature? Well, this introduces a whole new and really important kind of stress.
So, what's the deal here? It's a subtle but crucial difference. When you heat something, it naturally wants to expand. That desire to expand is thermal strain. But here's the catch. Thermal stress only shows up if you stop it from expanding. If the material is free to get bigger, there's actually no stress at all.
And this is exactly how it happens. Just picture a railroad track on a blistering hot summer day. The temperature goes way up. The steel track tries to get longer, but it can't. It's bolted down at both ends. Its movement is restricted. So what happens? A massive internal compressive stress builds up inside the rail, sometimes so powerful it can cause the tracks to literally buckle and warp.
This is why engineers are completely obsessed with managing thermal expansion. And once you know about it, you see the solutions everywhere. Those finger-like expansion joints on bridges, they're there to give the bridge room to grow. The little gaps between sections of railway, same reason. Even the glass in your cookware is a special type that barely expands at all, so it doesn't crack when it goes from hot to cold. All right, to finish things up, let's look at one final little detail. It's a fascinating nuance that really shows the difference between pure physics and the practical world of engineering.
Okay, so remember how our stress-strain curve went up, hit a peak, and then came back down? Well, that's actually the engineering stress curve. It's calculated using the material's original area. But think about it. As the material starts necking down, its actual area is shrinking, right? If you calculate the stress using that instantaneous shrinking area, you get what's called the true stress curve. And guess what? It never goes down. The material itself never actually gets weaker.
So you're probably asking, wait, why would engineers use a model that's basically an illusion? And the answer is just practicality. When an engineer is designing a beam for a building, they're working with its original dimensions. They need to know the forces it can handle before it starts to change shape for good. The engineering curve gives them that answer directly. It's just a perfect reminder that in the real world, the best tool isn't always the one that's the most theoretically perfect. It's the one that gets the job done.